Hi guys, sorry to be about a minute or so late here getting started. Trying to get some unpaid teams wrapped up in Court Kings. I've reached out to a couple of you who were underbidders on those teams. Then in the meantime, about 30 seconds ago, I got a message from the primary bidder saying that they expected to be able to pay in the next 15 minutes. So here's what we're going to do as a result. We're going to break slightly out of order tonight because of that and trying to give that Court Kings person a chance to pay. And so we will then break the Preferred Football first. And then after we do Preferred Football, we'll go into Court Kings and then we'll go into Prizm. So that's kind of what's going to happen. If you are one of the underbidders on the two Court Kings teams that I sent you a message about the second chance offer, just hang tight. As I said, I did right after I sent those messages. I got the message from the primary bidder saying that they expected to be able to pay in the next 15 minutes. So we'll see how that plays out. In the meantime, we'll just go slightly out of order and we're going to start out with Preferred Football. So this is 5 boxes of 2017 Panini Preferred Football. This is a half case break, and it is break number 1. First time we've been in this one. Our eBay end date was tonight, 12/8. Our live stream schedule also tonight, Friday, 12/8 at 10:30 Eastern. Team names are on the left, winning bidders across from it on the right-hand side. And we'll scroll down through here and give you a chance to refresh your memory and see which teams you have. And of course, one of these spreadsheets will go up before each and every break. So if you are in one of the basketball breaks, there'll be a spreadsheet that will go up for your break before we start it. And hang on one second, guys. I have to grab one thing here. See, this is what happens. This is what happens when I end up with stuff not paid when it should be. Then I end up all out of sorts. And I thought we would be easy tonight, right? I mean, there was so much gap time between the time the auction ended and the time the break started. I thought, oh, this would be an easy one. No, wrong. Should have known better. So here's what we will do. We're only opening half of this case, but I'm going to take every box out. I will number it on the end, and then we'll put those numbers in random and let random.org tell us which ones we open tonight versus which ones we will be opening in the next break. Well, if I can get them all out of here, that is. Good grief. They have seriously got them jammed in there pretty good. All right, so let's get these numbered. It's pretty much always what I do if we're breaking a partial case and we're just opening the case for the first time. Obviously, you know, when we're breaking the back half of something, we don't have to do this because there's only half left. But on the front side, we definitely do. So let's roll over here to random. I'm going to bring you along with me. And I'll type in the 10 numbers, of course, 1 through 10, representing our 10 boxes that just came out of that case. And then first 5 that come up will be the 5 that we open tonight. It gives us 3, 9, 4, 8, and 6. And as usual, I better write that down. So 3, 9, 4, 8, and 6. Okay, let's get back where we started and get this sorted out. All right, 3, 4, 6, 8, and 9. There we go. So the back half of this case, I'm going to change the focus here real quick. The back half of this case will open, I think, in the next day or two. It's already listed on eBay. I just don't remember exactly what night it ends. You did see the background go out of focus there, but not to worry. That was done so that we can look at the cards up close without having to worry about that autofocus constantly trying to zoom in and out and all that mess. That makes me irritated when that happens. Eagles fanatic, you got sniped on your Eagles? I'm sorry, man. That's no good. That is no good at all. You'll definitely, you know, you got to use Auction Sniper. That's probably what the other person did. Auction Sniper is awesome. If anybody isn't using that service, it's literally just auctionsniper.com. I love that thing. If you lose, they don't charge you anything. If you win your bid, you have to pay a little fee, but most of the time it's not much. It's usually just like 25 cents or something. That is kind of looking bent up in there. That whole pack. Do you see what I'm seeing there? Like out of the box, which the box itself looked fine, but what is in the pack looks, I don't know. Maybe, I hope it's just the wrapper and not the card itself, but that looks kind of weird coming out of there. Just as an FYI kind of thing. Oh man, and you waited all week watching it. Daggone it. I'm sorry. That's no fun. Hopefully this was just a weird wrapper thing, but we're going to open it up and find out. We're going to start with it. Once again, if you are here for basketball, we are breaking slightly out of order. I'm trying to give someone with Court Kings a little bit more time to take care of their payment because they thought that they could get it done. So just want to keep track of that. First out, this is numbered to 25 for the Lions. And I guess it was just a weird reflection on the wrapper because Haloti here looks fine. He certainly doesn't look bent or anything. So I guess it was just a weird reflection on the wrapper that made it look like it was not going to come out right. Derrick Henry for the Titans, numbered to 15. Nice low number hit for the Titans. For my Pittsburgh Steelers, a little TJ Watt. I love me some TJ Watt. That is numbered to 199 for the Steelers. We have a redemption, and I'm going to leave it sitting there. We're going to keep you in suspense. We'll do that in a little bit. So we have Julio Jones and Matt Ryan. This is numbered to 199 for the Falcons for our booklet. Our redemption, again, is just going to hold tight right there in case we find any more redemptions. We're going to look at all the redemptions at once. Yeah, see, I already see another one. I knew we'd find more. Jake Butt to 199 for the Denver Broncos. Redemption, we're going to look at it in a minute. Chris Godwin for the Bucks. That is numbered to 49. Nice little Buccaneers hit there. You know what? Why is the lighting kind of weird? Let's change this just slightly and see if we can brighten this up a little bit. And another redemption. We're already 3 redemptions in. That's just stupid. This is numbered to 99. Todd Gurley for the Rams. You can see you've got a big kind of wrinkle in your fabric over there to the right. So they didn't maybe get that put in the little booklet as well as they could have, but what are you going to do? Jonathan Allen for the Redskins, numbered to 99. So far, everything's been sticker autos. I don't know if I said that or not, but so far it has been. Another hit for the Lions, Darius Slay on this one. Nice, really low number to 10. It's 3 of 10 on Darius Slay, who didn't really take a lot of extra time with his signature, just the big D and the big S. C.J. Beathard for the 49ers. Nice little die cut. And that one is an on-card auto, and it is numbered to 35 on the rookie penmanship insert for C.J. Beathard. Kansas City Chiefs with Pat Mahomes. And that, of course, fabric and on-card auto, and it is numbered to 99 for the Chiefs. I'd say Pat Mahomes, he'll get a start sometime soon, I would think. If they don't start him by the end of this year, I don't think he's far off. This is to 199, and of course you see we've got two teams on here, Lions and the Bengals, with Matt Stafford and AJ Green. So that we'll take a look at the spreadsheet. If the same person owns both teams, then we have no problem. If we have two different team owners, then that card will be awarded by way of random. Dalvin Tomlinson for the Giants. This is numbered to 99. Another redemption, because why would, two more. So, because why would Panini want to put out a product with actual live signatures in it? So we have 5 redemptions so far. That is just stupid. Chris Godwin, little 1 of 1 cyan plate autograph on there for the Bucks. And of course, just keep in mind, guys, on these plates, they actually were used to print the cards, so they are going to have scratches and surface marks and stuff, and that's just part of their charm. But they do, they were actually used. Cam Newton and Luke, I never say it right. Is it Kekley? I never get it right. To 25. And those are both really nice patches for the Panthers. Super nice material on both sides of that booklet, numbered to 25. Hey, Ravens are coming out with a hit with Tim Williams, numbered to 99. Nice little Ravens card there. I see a cowboy on the horizon. And that would be one Taco Charlton. That is also numbered to 99 for the boys. I think we're about to make the Vikings happy as well with some Randy Moss. Always nice to pull a Randy Moss. You don't see him too much these days, although Panini this year's had him in like a career retrospective in a lot of products. That one is numbered to 10. Nice little Randy Moss hit for the Vikes. 49ers, Joe Williams on-card auto material hit, numbered to 199. Of course, we'll recap all these after we deal with what we're going to have to do in random and our redemptions. Another dual team here. We have Will Fuller for the Texans, Deshaun Kaiser for the Browns. This is also numbered to 199. And once again, we will have to take a look at the spreadsheet. So before we do that, we have all these lovely redemptions to flip over. Hi, Aaron. I don't remember when the next preferred is. I break almost every night, but I just don't remember when the next preferred is. But I will look it up for you in a minute. Okay, so Wayne Gallman, Rookie Silhouettes Prime, is one of our redemptions. Of course, we're going to go to the checklist on all this, but Wayne Gallman's a New York Giant, I'm 90% sure. Cole Beasley, Preferred Penmanship Red. We will see what that is numbered to as well when we get to the checklist. Another Wayne Gallman, because why would you want just one when you can have two? Then, Tankersley. Okay, that's another Rookie Prominent Signatures Red. We're going to be spending a while on the checklist. And Evan Ingram. So pretty much the Giants just didn't sign any cards for this product. Is that kind of the deal? I don't know. That's so weird. All right. So first off, let's deal with our booklets that have two teams on them. So Lions and Bengals. Let's roll back over to our spreadsheet and see if we have the same or different team owners on that. And the Lions are right here. I forgot who the other team was. Bengals. All right, so we do have different team owners, so that means we got to buzz back over to random.org. And bear with me here for a second, guys. So I generally will enter these either top to bottom or left to right, depending on how the card is oriented. This one is a top to bottom kind of card. So Lions are going to go in first, Bengals second. Random's going to go 3 times here, and the first 2 don't count. So it's only the third random that makes the decision. So first one does not matter, second one does not matter, third and final does matter. And that gives it to the Bengals. And right there, randomized 3 times. And there's our date and time stamp. So let's flip back over and look at this for a minute. This card here, that one to the Bengals. And I'm going to write that down. So bear with me. Next up, we're going to deal with this card, which will be Texans and Browns. And we're going to go through the same process in random using those 2 teams. So let me get you back on the same page that I am on and run through that one. Oh, we got to look at the spreadsheet first. Forgot about that. Hold on. We got to come back over here for a minute. All right, so the Browns are Bills Mafia, and then the Texans, where are you? Big Country. Okay, so we did have to go to random anyway, but I just had gone a hair or too soon there a second ago. And once again, we're going to do random 3 times. The first 2 do not count. The third and final random will determine who's going to get that card. So first one doesn't matter. Second one doesn't matter. Third and final coming up. Did it not go? I guess it didn't. There we go. And there's our randomized 3 times, our date and time stamp, and it is headed to the Texans. So let's get back and take a look at this. So this one, Texans awarded via random. Now we've got all these redemptions to work through. Well, you are right about that, Eagles fanatic. You did, yeah, save yourself, I guess, a little bit of money in that regard. And Floyd, you absolutely, if you have the Giants, my friend, you have loaded up. So once again, here are the cards that we're going to be looking up. I'm just going to give you a quick view of them. Then I'm going to switch you to the same screen that I will be looking at, which is our lovely Panini America website. That's going to show us all the things we need to know, including what those are numbered to. I've just got to get over to the right page and now bring you with me and get myself back there. All right. Oh, shoot. Look what I just did. I just put basketball. So I got basketball on the brain because we're breaking a couple of basketball products tonight, but not yet. Got this up first. Preferred. And we're going to look up first the Wayne Gallman Rookie Silhouettes Prime. As you can see, it takes a minute to get through all of this. There we go. And that should be card number 86. And let's just see. Yeah, of course, he's a Giant, as we expected. And that tells us this card will be numbered to 49. Next up, we're going to look at the Cole Beasley, which is in Preferred Penmanship Red. They just like to make me scroll through all this stuff, basically, you know. I mean, there's so many different things here. And that is card 149. Cole Beasley is going to be numbered also to 49. It would be nice if they could just maybe put that on the redemption, right? So we didn't have to go look all this up every time, but that's not how it goes. Then we are back to another Wayne Gallman, and once again, I think I should have just looked them both up, because weren't we in Rookie Silhouettes Prime just a second ago for him? I think we were. But, yeah, 49. So basically, it's the same card. They gave us, like, the same card for the same card set and everything twice. Okay, well, anyway. Now we're on Tankersley. He is Rookie Prominent Scripts Red. Whoops, might be helpful if I would click on the right thing. Rookie Prominent Scripts red. And Tankersley is card number 290, which means he is going to be numbered to 199 for the Dolphins, right? Did I even look at that part? Let me make sure that's right. Yeah, Dolphins. Every once in a while, I'll have one of those rookies in my head wrong. And then Evan Ingram, who I know is a Giant, but we got to look him up anyway, and I should have paid more attention and done them all at once, but I'm not used to having this many come out all the same, but yet we do. Card number 85 is Evan Ingram, also numbered 249. All right, so let me get that written on there. Then we're going to switch our view back, and whoops, yeah, switch our view back. And then we will recap all of, everything that we've got going here. So let's start out with our little pile of redemptions. The Tankersley for the Dolphins will be numbered to 199. For the Giants, the Wayne Gallman to 49. For the Giants, the Evan Ingram to 49. For the Cowboys, Cole Beasley to 49. For the Giants, Wayne Gallman to 49. Then our booklet that was awarded, that booklet wasn't awarded to anybody. It's for the Panthers. Then our booklet for the Rams. Booklet for the Falcons. Joe Williams, 49ers. Randy Moss. Taco Charlton. The Tim Williams. Chris Godwin, the 1 of 1. Dalvin Tomlinson. That is another Giant. There were a lot of Giants. Pat Mahomes. CJ Beathard. Darius Slay. And guys, if you didn't pull anything in this break, like literally nothing at all, I will still be sending you something. So you'll still get something coming your way, even if you did not pull a card in the break. And then finally, Haloti with the Lions wraps us up. So that has, of course, the other 2 booklets we already reviewed, the 2 that were given out by way of random.org. So that gets us up to speed there. Now, we're going to be starting on some basketball breaks, but I need one hot second to go in here and see if our bidder for Court Kings is paid up. So let me run into the office and check that, and I'm going to be right back. Okay, so our Court Kings bidder is still not paid, still saying they're gonna pay, but they haven't paid yet. So, yeah, so here's what's gonna happen. We'll just go ahead and do Prizm, and then we will do Court Kings last, I guess. I was trying to adjust the focus there a little bit because I don't like the lighting tonight. And it's got to have something to do with that focus because I set up, you know, it's set up in the same place every night. So it's got to have something to do with the focus. So maybe that fixed it a little better. Oh, and Aaron, shoot. I was supposed to answer your question too, wasn't I? I'll do that in just a second about when the back half of Preferred is listed. So this brings us to 6 boxes of 2017-18 Panini Prizm Basketball. This is a half case break. It is break number 2. We broke the first half last night, and I got it out the door already today. So the first half, it's on the way to you. Second half, we're getting ready to do. Our eBay end date was tonight, 12/8/17. Our live stream schedule also tonight, 12/8 at 10:30 Eastern. Our team names are on the left. Our winning bidders are across from it on the right-hand side. So once again, I'll scroll down through here, give everybody a chance to refresh your memory as to what teams you have. And if you are here for Court Kings, just keep in mind that has been pushed to the last break of the night. We're still waiting on someone who thinks they're going to be able to get their payment in. So we've moved that one, cycled that one from the front to the back. And that's where we are with it. So let me get Prizm loaded up here. And I got to look that up for you, Aaron, don't I? Let me look that up for you real quick and tell you when that other preferred break is. Okay, Aaron, that other preferred break, the back half of that case is Sunday. It's already up and listed, scheduled to end on Sunday. So, do you know how to find me on eBay, Aaron? Or do you need me to give you that info? Michael in Court Kings, it is the 76ers and somebody. It's the same person with both teams. And it's someone who hasn't bid with me before, so they're not, somebody I know. And they sent me a message saying they were going to have the money in like 15 minutes if I could wait and hold the team. So we broke the preferred. But of course, they still don't have it paid. So I decided we'll break the Prizm. And then if they don't have it paid by the end of the Prizm, we'll have to figure out what we're going to do. Hi, Marty Mar. How are you? I got your stuff on the way today, too. Your Prizm from last night. And you know what? I sent it a little differently than I normally do. Normally I just send it in those padded flat rate envelopes. But this time I put it in bubble wrap in a box, and then put the box inside, and then put bubble wrap on the outside of the box, and then put the whole thing in a Tyvek envelope, because I didn't want anything that could tear or possibly have any kind of whatever. So I would think between bubble wrap box and bubble wrap, and then the Tyvek envelope, we should be in good order. But I know you had a bunch of cards coming, so I wanted to make sure that we got them to you safely. And it did all go out today. But you know what the weird thing is? So I think I've told some of you, the post office has been so weird lately, and some of my stuff hasn't been getting scanned, and it's just been a mess. So they told me to start using scan forms, so I did. And then I dropped off all this stuff with its scan forms, and they did not scan the forms at all, and then didn't scan 2 of the packages. Like, what? So they scanned, 50 some odd packages, and then don't scan 2 of them. Like, I don't even know what that's about, but anyway. Yeah, Michael, I hear you. I'd like to have a talk with them myself. All right, guys, so base cards, we're just going to kind of buzz right through these like we did last night. This is the back half of the case that we started last night. When we get to hits, of course, we'll stop and look at those, and anything that is a refractor, I will read out or call out the name as we go along. Nice way to start things off for the Philadelphia 76ers, pulling out a little Markelle Fultz. Nice little hit there for the Sixers. And then, of course, our refractors, also known as Prizms. These I will read the names off as we go. There's Timofey and Wesley Matthews, and then that was it. And then we're back to base. We'll find a bunch of inserts, including inserts that are not refractors, like the one we're getting ready to look at for Anunoby. And if it's not a refractor, I won't call it out even if it is an insert, just to keep it simple. Last night I kind of mixed those in a little bit, and I think it got confusing. Ben Simmons refractor for the 76ers. So the Sixers already with a couple of nice pulls. And we're just getting started. And one of our coaches, D'Antoni, for the Rockets. And it's kind of weird, right, that the coaches have refractors in here. I mean, a little bit, but they do. So there you go. And Marty Marr, to answer your question of a minute ago, and I don't think I answered it because I think I just I don't know, I was off on a tangent about the post office. If yeah, for sure, if the 76ers, if it doesn't come through before we need to do the break, then yeah, I'll put that out there if you guys want to pick up that and another team, the other team, which I think was maybe the Hawks. Lots of cool inserts in here. Hey, a nice little De'Aaron Fox luck of the lottery for the Kings. And then lots and lots of base. But that's okay, because we love Prizm, and it's all fun to look at. Frank Kaminsky for the Hornets. Everything in here for the most part, well, not for the most part, I think entirely everything I've pulled last night and tonight have all been sticker autos, so if anything changes, I'll let you know. Omar Asik for the Pelicans. Nice little Donovan Mitchell insert for the Jazz, Emergent. Refractor. Those are not numbered, but they're still kind of cool, kind of fun. And, whoops, J.R. Smith is a refractor. I laid him right down like he wasn't, but he is. And is it a Windu? How do you say his name properly? Which we all know I'm not ever going to remember, but I'm just trying to guess. Yeah, I know. For the Magic, that is numbered to 199. I keep wanting to read out those inserts, but then I know I'm not supposed to if they're not a refractor. Tyler Ulis for the Suns. Of course, it's not a matter of supposed to or not supposed to, other than just, you know, it's easier if I just read out the refractors than if you've heard the name, that it is one or a signature. Brandon Ingram for the Lakers, who hit the game-winning shot last night. The young little Lakers trying to get it together. Oh, here's somebody phonetically spelling it for me. Iwuendu? Oh boy, I will never remember that. Oh yeah, I don't even think I probably got it right with spelled out like that. I think I probably still just messed that up massively, would be my guess. Jason Tatum for the Celtics, and that's a third autograph in this box, right? Yeah, we're still in the first box. And we are supposed to find two, but hey, we found three. And two of them were quite good. Markelle Fultz and Jason Tatum. We'll take it. Take a bonus. Zach Collins for the Blazers. Tony Bradley for the Jazz, numbered to 49. And actually, I meant to put Zach Collins in a sleeve as well, since he's a rookie. So let's get him back in one. Occasionally, we may find Panini Rewards Points cards in here. And if we do find some of those, Of course, you know it will mean that it has replaced a hit, and if that happens, of course, we will random it off amongst all the teams in the break. Greg Monroe, refractor. Bogdanovic for the Pacers, numbered to 199. And there is more Prizm to be listed, guys. I know I haven't got it up yet because we've got more Court Kings to go through. That is already listed. I've got a little Totally Certified listed for release night. And let's hope UPS actually shows up that night, as opposed to leaving it on their truck like they did the other night. And then we'll probably get back into Prizm about, I don't know, maybe by Thursday of next week. Something like that. Or, I don't know, I might decide on Sunday to throw up a one-day auction for Monday night. So, because right now there's nothing on Monday night. Seth Curry for the Mavericks. DeAndre Jordan for the Clippers. I originally wasn't going to break Monday, but now I don't know. I might throw up the first half of a new case of Prizm just on a one-day listing. I'm not sure. Bam Adebayo for the Heat. And that was not a refractor, and I said it anyway because he's from UK, and I got all excited to see Bam Adebayo because I like him. The Raptors, that one is a refractor. And Anawaku for the Rockets. And did we already look at, I think we did already look at those three. All right. While I'm thinking about it, Isaiah Thomas, of course, you see he's in a Celtics uniform, but the card is marked for the Cavaliers. Obviously, that's because he was traded. So I just wanted to point that out, that it's always going to go to the team that is designated on the card, not necessarily the uniform the player is wearing. So sometimes you may see a familiar player go by and see a familiar uniform, and you have that team, and then you get your cards and you're wondering where he is. Yeah, it's probably because he was traded and they made that designation on the card. Goran Dragic /25 for the Heat. There's a couple that they, for some reason, didn't get in the series as traded. Carmelo Anthony is one. He is in Prizm as a Knick, even though, of course, we know he did get traded. So I guess this was a hot box because here's autograph number 4 out of this box. Trayvon Graham for the Hornets. So hot box alert now that we're at the very end. Kind of hard to alert it when we're done, isn't it? Damian Lillard for the Blazers. Little Draymond Green for the Warriors. But, you know, I guess I had not paid attention. I didn't even really remember there being hot boxes in Prizm. I gotta be honest, I didn't remember that. But clearly there are, because we got double the number of autographs in that box that we were due to get. Did the rest of you guys know that there were hot boxes in Prizm? And I just somehow, did I somehow just, like, was I absent that day? I just missed that part. Didn't retain it or something, I guess. I don't know. Weird. And once again, if you are here for Court Kings, it will be after Prizm. I slightly rearranged the order that we're breaking tonight because I have somebody who's trying to get their payment details together, and they originally thought it was only going to be a few minutes, so I thought they'd be ready to go after Preferred, and then they're still not ready to go. And when it's teams that aren't very expensive, I'll just take the chance. And you get burned about half the time, to be honest. When you take the chance and just say, I'll let it ride, about 50% of the time I get paid, and about 50% of the time I don't ever get paid. But tonight, those were the Sixers and the Hawks especially the Sixers, you know. I mean, that's a hot team to just let ride. So I didn't really want to let that amount of money just ride. So that's why we're kind of waiting to see what goes on there. This is numbered to 25, Frank Jackson for the Pelicans. I don't remember the name of that particular pattern on there. You guys can see it. It's kind of like almost like a snowflake type pattern, but it's not a snowflake pattern, but similar. Marcus Smart, another Bam Adebayo, but that one was a refractor, the second one. First one wasn't that we saw. Whoops. Earl Watson, as we continue through our parade of coaches. Elfrid Payton for the Magic to 99. Mojo, thank you. Thank you for the name of that. I have a hard time remembering all the pattern names, particularly Panini, because they have so many different ones. I don't even do great remembering the Topps ones, but I have a much harder time retaining all the pattern names for Panini. A little Wes Unseld for the Wizards. Of course, that said Bullets, but you guys know the card always stays with a franchise. So if a franchise is relocated or changed its name, card's gonna stay with the franchise. The only exception, Charlotte Hornets, and that's because the New Orleans Pelicans, when they renamed themselves, Hassan Whiteside, they returned all the team name, history, and records and everything to what was then the Bobcats and is now the Hornets. That's to 199 on the Moutier. So anything Hornets always stays Hornets, and anything Pelicans, of course, stays Pelicans, even though once upon a time the Pelicans were the original Charlotte Hornets. Did that make sense? It probably didn't. I know what I'm trying to communicate, but I don't know if it came out right. Yogi Ferrell for the Mavericks. A little MKG for the Hornets to 75. And Podol for the Raptors, along with Deonta Davis for the Grizzlies. Periodically, you see me grab those cards and move them off to the right, but don't worry. There's a mat over there as well. It's what I use for sorting. So they stay on a mat. I just don't like that stack there in the back to get super, super high. So periodically, I'm going to pick it up and move it. Marc Gasol to 25 for the Grizzlies. Oh, Ben, you were thinking about the Hornets, Grizzlies. I just now looked over and saw that. You probably typed that a couple minutes ago, and I didn't see it until just now. Yeah, that's like the only situation where a franchise who has moved, relocated, changed its name, whatever, where the card doesn't go with the franchise. Because, you know, technically, of course, before it was originally the Pelicans. The Pelicans were the original Charlotte Hornets. They moved to New Orleans and became the New Orleans Hornets. There's Jeremy Grant for the Thunder. Then there was an entirely new franchise, an expansion team that came in as the Charlotte Bobcats. So technically, anything prior to the Charlotte Bobcats, if you were just going by normal situation, would have gone to the Pelicans because they were the original Charlotte Hornets. But then, oddly, when they decided to become the New Orleans Pelicans, they did return all of the records, the franchise history, the team name, and everything to the Bobcats, making them like kind of the one and only Charlotte Hornets again. This kid's been playing really well for the Celtics. Miles Turner for the Pacers. So yeah, I don't know. That's the only kind of weird franchise situation that I know of. I mean, the rest of them are pretty clear cut. Clear cut. You know, like the Supersonics, and they're the current Oklahoma City Thunder. Although, I will say that is another situation that could become like the Charlotte New Orleans sitch, because I'm pretty sure that when that team moved, that's to 199, to Oklahoma City, that Seattle has some kind of an agreement whereby if they get another professional team, that they can go back and reclaim the Supersonics name and the Supersonics records. I'm fairly sure that that's correct. So if they do ever get an expansion team in there, I guess it would be kind of the same thing. So let's see if I can practice this. I'm so bad at this. Iwuendu. Oh, no, that was just bad. And now I can't even get it in the sleeve. Can't even find the opening. I got myself all turned around trying to pronounce his name. Thomas Bryant for the Lakers. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was a... I do remember that, Marty Marr. That guy was very much arguing about that, and it was a huge, big mess. As you know, he got quite angry about that situation. And at some point after that, I then put in there's Harrison Barnes for the Mavericks. So at some point after that, I put in the notes, Justin Jackson refractor for the Kings. I'll get back to that in a second. I know, Marty. I start on something and then I stop to read the names. Gallinari to 49 for the Clippers. So yeah, at some point after that guy got all wigged out over that situation, I went into the... if you guys have never looked at it, at the bottom of the listing, there's like a special circumstances section. And it talks about all kinds of scenarios, like what happens if you pull a custom jersey, you know, what happens if you pull a Panini Rewards point card, what happens if a franchise has been renamed, etc. And after that guy flipped out, somewhere along the way, I went in there and specifically listed out about the Pelicans and the Hornets, so we could avoid those sorts of unpleasant things going forward. Yeah, I don't know about that, Ben, with the Thunder. There is something, and I would have to go back and research it to know exactly what it was. But there is something about if Seattle can get another franchise, that they do have the rights to some of that stuff. I'm pretty sure. I know they asked for them. I want to say they have them, at least for the Supersonics name. Well, the whole thing, though, Marty Marr, that guy was talking about, of course, is Larry Johnson was the original Charlotte Hornets, which are, in fact, the current New Orleans Pelicans. So technically, he was correct in the sense that, yes, that franchise, that Larry Johnson never played for the current Charlotte franchise, because he didn't. He wasn't even playing by the time the Charlotte Bobcats came along. He played when they were the original Charlotte Hornets, which moved to the New Orleans Pelicans. So that's the argument the guy was making. And he's correct in that sense, but incorrect in the sense that the Pelicans restored all of the team history and records back to Charlotte after the fact. That was Danny Green. Russell Westbrook for the Thunder. So, I mean, technically, he was right in the way that I originally had it written, where I just talked about if a franchise relocates or renames, you know, the card stays with the franchise. So technically, that was correct. That's why I went back and clarified specifically after that. Nice little Sindarius Thornwell. That the exception, of course, was Charlotte and New Orleans due to the return of the records in the name. Chris Dunn for the Bulls. Oh, so maybe you're right, Ben. Maybe you're right. Maybe I'm just thinking about the fact that Seattle asked for it and Oklahoma told them to shove it, and it didn't work out. You may very well be right, and I just retained part of it and not all the scenario. So you may be right about that. I just remembered it was an issue, and for whatever reason, I thought that they had worked that out, but you're probably correct. I haven't followed up on it in a long time. Deladova. For the Pacers, numbered 275. Of course, who knows if Seattle's even going to be able to get themselves another franchise expansion team up there anyway. I know they've been trying, but I think they've been trying for several years. Obviously, no luck so far. A little AD for the Pelicans. Ilyasova to 199 for the Hawks. If I didn't say this already, and I probably didn't, so all the preferred football people didn't catch it because I probably didn't say it. I imagine the bulk of what we're opening tonight will get out the door on Monday. That's my intent, is for it to be out on Monday. I doubt I can get it out tomorrow because post office has limited Saturday hours, so I'm kind of not feeling like I can get it out tomorrow. Maybe a few of them, but I don't really like to ship them out until they're all sorted and done, because you never know. You ship part of them out, and then maybe I'm sorting somewhere later and say, oh, whoops, that card should have gone in that team, but you've already mailed that team out. So typically, I like to mail the whole break at once, which means that we're probably looking at Monday. CJ McCollum for the Trailblazers. John Lauer for the Pistons. And of course, well, he's not a rookie. Donovan Mitchell is a rookie, though. Nice little emergent insert. But of course, the thing, to keep in mind this time of year, post office is crazy. Beyond what I said earlier about the fact that they're only selectively scanning packages, which is frustrating me to no end. There's also weird delivery stuff going on. Ed Davis for the Blazers. A little Ben McLemore for the Grizz, numbered to 199. It's like I have one bidder who I mailed him a priority mail package, like the 20-something, 28th maybe it was, 27th, 28th. I don't know. I had a lot of weirdness going with packages that were shipped on that same day. Like, I don't know what happened. But anyway, he still has not gotten it. He's just one state over. Little Kyrie Irving for the Celtics on that insert. And it should have been there, but it isn't there still. In the meantime, he's gotten like a couple of other packages, including one that I just sent a couple days ago by regular first class. But the priority mail package is still floating around the universe. And then, of course, one that was going an hour or so down the road, they somehow sent up to New Hampshire first. I mean, it's just been a hot mess. Markieff Morris to 10. Oh, let's see. What did you say over here? You read an article that says Seattle would get to use the name and trademark, but Oklahoma City would retain the records. Oh, man. Okay, so I only partially remembered that scenario then. Well, that would just be awful. I would not like that in terms of trying to figure out what went where as somebody who does breaks. That would be not a fun scenario, I don't think. Marcus Smart for the Celtics. That one was also a refractor as well as the autograph. Paul Millsap Nuggets. Isaiah Thomas for the Cavs with a little insert. Oh, yeah, that would make me super unhappy if Oklahoma... I mean, You know, normally a franchise does keep their records, but they also then don't give up their name. So it's just super easy to say card stays with the franchise. But if they give up the name but keep the records, that's just going to be a mess. That's for the Rockets. Austin Rivers for the Clippers. I am not a fan of that scenario. But as we said, you know, they've got to get another franchise first, I guess, so we don't have to worry about it right now anyway. This is numbered to 99 on the Manu Ginobili. Because it's always, and it's fine, you know, if it's somebody who's been doing breaks for a while or buying into breaks for a long time. They kind of know how it all works anyway, and they don't get real bent out of shape about something like that. But if you get sometimes someone who hasn't done a lot of breaks and they're not as familiar with franchise history and like what teams have moved and who's been renamed and all that, people can get really upset over things like that. And definitely I have lived through a couple of those. So the guy with the jersey that Marty Marr was referencing, he was one that got pretty angry over the Larry Johnson jersey that went to Charlotte because he had New Orleans. But, you know, I mean, that kind of stuff's going to happen sometimes. That's just, anytime there's a possibility of someone getting something and then they end up not getting it, they're going to be unhappy. I mean, some people realize that's just how it flows and they're okay with it, and other people are not going to be. So, and that's even true of cards that go through, you know, random. Sometimes people get kind of bent out of shape when a card goes to random and it doesn't end up going their way. So, it's inevitable, unfortunately, that people sometimes are just going to be unhappy. And all you can do is the best you can do and go on about it, you know. All right, this is box number 4 that we're getting ready to look through. We'll have 2 to go after this, but give me a second. I'm going to get a little drink of water here. I think my humidity or something is off in my house. It's like super dry in here, but it is so cold outside. I don't even know. I guess cranking the heat up or something's messed up the balance here in the house. I don't know. Troy Williams for the Rockets. There's a little Lonzo Ball for the Lakers. I know there's some whole thing you're supposed to do when you turn the heat on about, you know, whatever it is with the humidity, because then you get all the static and all that stuff, but I don't know. I haven't done it, whatever it is. Mostly because I don't know what in the heck I'm supposed to be doing. Trey Lyles for the Nuggets. That's another example of he's still pictured in his Jazz uniform, but of course traded to the Nuggets, and the Nuggets noted on the card. Skal Labissiere for the Kings. Another little Donovan Mitchell emergent refractor insert. That's second or third one of those we've pulled. Of course, that kid's playing really well, too. Oh, yeah, Marty Marr. Yeah. Yeah, you're talking about people that don't get hits. And guys, if you can't see chat and you're watching the break live, it's probably because you're not logged into YouTube. So if you're watching live and you want to join in the chat, just log in and you should be able to see it. Of course, if you're watching recorded, you know, that doesn't help you much. But basically what Marty Marr is saying is that he doesn't like when people, Patrick McCaw to 199 for the Warriors, that people that don't get hits will then go to eBay and go to PayPal and file cases and claims and get their money back. And of course, I don't like that either because it happens a lot. In fact, I've got one guy right now who opened 6 cases. It was one of the like black gold breaks. So he's maybe got 20 bucks in it, but he didn't get a hit. I still sent him, he asked, could he get his replaced, consolation cards or whatever, which normally I would ship out with the next break. But I said, sure, it's no problem. And I sent them to him. And I even sent him a little something extra as well. Of course, that didn't make him happy. He just wanted his money back. So he opened all 6 cases. Now, of course, demanding a refund, item not as described, the usual scenario. And basically tells me I can either refund him his money or he will leave me, 6 negative comments. And most of the time, I'll just, in a case like that where I know it is unwarranted, I'll just say fine and take the negative comments. But then, of course, you end up with a bunch of negatives, which is what has happened on my account up to this point. That's to $199. So at some point, then you have to kind of think, okay, well, is it worth it? Is it not? But most of the time, honestly, I just, on the principle of it, I just won't do it. And especially in the case of that guy, where he asked to have his consolation cards. I sent them. I even sent him extra stuff, and he still does that. It's like, I'll probably just end up getting hit with the negatives, But it is very frustrating. That was Okafor for the Sixers, who, of course, just got traded. Gortat to 99. And then I had another person. This one really gets me, because this person had done a number of breaks with me and knows exactly how they work. And in all the other breaks that they had done with me, and they were multiples, it wasn't like just one other break, they had always gotten a hit of some sort. So no problem. First time they do a break, and again, they did like 3 breaks in the same night for low buy-in stuff. They didn't get any hits. Open cases on PayPal, open cases on eBay, Frank Nicolina for the Knicks. And once again, I sent them what they asked to have sent, and they still opened all of their cases, and they know exactly how the break works. And then the first time they didn't hit something, yep, there they go, back after their money. So it's a hard environment on eBay. You lose a lot of money off the top, often on breaks, selling for less than you paid for the items, but you still have to do all the work and all the shipping. Lauri Markkanen. And then, of course, on top of that, eBay and PayPal are going to take their 15% combined, which puts you farther in the hole. And then you have all the people who don't ever pay you at all, which is always several $100s a month. And then you have all the people who will come back and file cases like Marty Marr's talking about, and that's usually another several $100s per month. So eBay's a tough way to go with stuff like this. I will say that. Courtney Lee for the Knicks. But I just don't really love doing it on some of the other websites, although I may have to start doing that. Darren Collinson for the Pacers. Because that would at least when you get on some of the other websites, you tend to get people who are a little more likely to not do some of the things that eBay people do. And it's not even the majority of eBay people. It's just the people like what I described, It's a certain category of people, but it is invariably someone who will have bunches and bunches of teams. You're just like, oh, man. Dwight Howard. It's like, why couldn't you have just had one team? Why did you have to have 6 or 8 teams? But that's, as I said the other night, that's one of the reasons I haven't been doing as many breaks of helmets and jerseys and some of our one-box breaks and things that you guys are accustomed to. I haven't been doing as many of those in the last couple weeks because of all the influx of new eBay shoppers. That is just asking for trouble. That's just asking for an extra 10 or 20 people to come along and open a case when they don't hit something. So I've got that a little bit piled up. John Wall for the Wizards. Although I do want to do some of it because I like breaking it too, but it is risky this time of year. Oh, how about a little Damian Lillard? Now that is a hard one to pull for the Blazers. Of course, you know, he had an agreement his rookie year. I guess he had always been signed with Upper Deck, right? Sergei Ibka. But Panini had an agreement with them to allow his signatures to be in a certain amount, a certain number of their products his rookie year. Steve Clifford to 49 for the Hornets. And then, of course, after that, none until he just recently signed with Panini again. So since 2012, no Damian Lillard until this year in Panini stuff. Ben, I would agree with you. Court Kings, Ben is saying in chat that he thought the Court Kings break went super cheap tonight. And, you know, I would agree. I wouldn't say like super, super cheap, but definitely it went lower than I think it normally would. And I think part of that probably is because of Prizm. People, you know, gravitating towards Prizm because it's in such short supply. But truly, all of it is in short supply. The only, what I would call plentiful basketball so far this year has been Ascension. And I just lost a ton of money on that. I only broke 3 cases of it, and I lost a little over $1,000 on 3 cases. So that was not a good product for me. Marty Marr says, I'm a little bit late on reading his chat comment. He basically says he would go, I'm going to give you the PG version. He would drive to somebody's house and kick their butt if they did some of that kind of stuff to him. Yeah, well, you would be doing nothing but driving to people's houses if you were doing that in my case, because, man, people do that to me all the time. All the time. Like, it's been crazy. And then it's not even like they will just be satisfied with kind of ripping you off and getting their money back and knowing that they did something, got away with something. Then they, most of the time, not all the time, but most of the time, then they'll also come back and tag you with negative feedback just to like add insult to the fact that they've already ripped you off. Enos Cantor for the Thunder. Oh, and then here's another good one. This was like last week or so. So we did a break of, I don't even remember what it was, something in baseball. And of course, some of the teams didn't pull anything, but I still sent something because that's what I do. If you pay, if it's a break that has a shipping charge, I'll go on and send your consolation right away. If it's a break that was free shipping, then I usually will wait and you'll get that consolation card or cards with the next package that I ship out. So this was one of the breaks where it had paid shipping and some teams didn't hit anything, so I was shipping out the consolation like right then. This is Anunoby for the Raptors. Tristan Thompson for the Cavs. Nice little Nick Kalina, Emergent, insert. So I ship all that stuff out. It gets delivered. The guy gets it. Then like 4 or 5 days after that, so he did the break. He waited for it to be shipped. He received it. Waited another 4 or 5 days. Saturansky for the Wizards. Then sent a message saying, oh, well, he just, he looked at the checklist, not just looked at it, but that he looked at the checklist. This is to 199 for the Hornets. And that the team that he had bid on didn't have any hits in the product. Well, of course, normally If I know a team doesn't have hits in the product, I won't list them. But sometimes I don't know, so I do list them. But anyway, so of course he files for a refund, gets his refund. And I'm like, guy, I would have been fine refunding you if you had just told me right after the break that they didn't have anything. But why did you wait all those many days and let me ship all that? Because he knew he was going to get something and he wanted to get it. So that's the kind of stuff that gets you. So not only did I refund him, then I was out the postage to ship it to him and out the item that I sent him as the consolation. So I actually paid him to be part of my break. Really, guy? I'm like, why would you not? If you knew when you bid that there was nothing for your team, then you should have told me then. And if you didn't tell me then and you waited for me to ship you your consolation, then you should have just kept that and said good enough. Juwan Evans for the Clippers. Oh yeah, Marty Mar, you are right. If you set on that stuff, you'll probably make a whole lot more money on it. That's for the Knicks. I didn't get a full case of first off the line. Kudos to you for managing to pull that off. I only got 3 boxes. I had more in my cart, and then the site kept freezing up, and then it kept dumping my cart, and finally I managed to get, of course that goes to the Thunder guys, Supersonics. I finally managed to get a little bit back in there and just decided I should check out with it what I had and then try to create another order. And of course, never got another order created. D'Angelo Russell for the Nets. This is $2.99. But basically, the deal with basketball is this. Panini came out and said before the start of the season even that they weren't going to have nearly what they needed for any basketball product. Kuzma for the Lakers. Another, I don't know how to say either one of his name. Mendogas. We'll go with Mendogas for the first name. For the Knicks. Followed by Marc Gasol again for the Grizzlies. So according to Panini, they don't have enough assets, quote unquote, which basically means signed stickers, to produce their normal amount of product. This is to 75 on the Bellinelli for the Hawks. So allegedly, that's why there's so little of it made and why it is so hard to get. But I find that somewhat hard to believe given the fact that then they're coming out with all these new products which have never been part of their line and still putting stuff in them. So I think they're just kind of playing games trying to increase the demand for their products. That's my personal opinion. Harry Giles for the Kings, which if he gets his knee straightened out and comes back as good as he was in college, he'll be a pretty good player there. Hassan Whiteside to 49 for the Heat. So I have to ask Marty Moore, how did you come up with 3 jumbo cases and a first off the line case? You have 4 cases of Prizm. That is an exceptional amount of Prizm. Were you just like online shopping the day it released, or have you got some hookups that we need to know about? We need to hit you up for some of these hookups, man. What's going on? That's pretty impressive. No way did I couldn't round up 4. I mean, I rounded up 2 full cases, and then the handful of first off the line boxes, and then I was able to get 1 more case that I had to split, and I only got 4 boxes out of that. So 2 full cases, 4 loose boxes, and 3 loose boxes of first off the line is what I ended up with. A little Boogie Cousins for the Pelicans. He has been playing exceedingly well lately. Sean Livingston, Warriors to 199. But it really does just kind of kill me that Panini picks a year, finally, where we have a really good rookie class in basketball, and this is the year where they decide, oh yeah, we're not going to make like anything. Like, for real? Damian Lillard to 25. And you know, they're not even making gold standard this year, which they have made in basketball for like the last 7, 8 years or more. They're not even making gold standard. Well, they are, but they're doing it in a weird way. In that, it's not going to be its own product where you can just go buy a gold standard like we're accustomed to being able to do. Instead, it's going to be part of Chronicles. And they're also going to revive like Platinum, and I don't even remember what other card sets, but they're going to have a bunch of different inserts in Chronicles for brands that they will not otherwise be releasing for basketball this year. They did the same thing with baseball. Of course, there's a lot of brands they don't release for baseball because they don't have licensing. But I have to say, it's been pretty cool. It had Spectra in it and Gold Standard, and of course basketball will have different card sets. They won't have the same card sets that baseball has, but it's been pretty cool. I don't like the base card design of the Chronicles baseball, but the inserts have been top notch. We'll see how the basketball comes out. But I was bummed that there was no gold standard freestanding release, because that's one of the products I really like. It makes me happy, gold standard does. Harrison Barnes. A little Rondé Hollis Jefferson for the Nets. Followed by Victor Oladipo for the Pacers. DJ Wilson for the Bucks. Oh, well, okay, so you got them at, I shopped there some too, but I thought that their prices were pretty high on Prizm this year. That's to 99, Derek Favors. But yeah, I mean, they had, did they have the first off the line there too at Steel City? Or did you literally get lucky, caught up in that hot mess on Panini's website that day and managed to get a full case out? I know a lot of people did. I just wasn't that lucky. Another, excuse me, another DJ Wilson for the Bucks. Another Lauri Markkanen for the Bulls. But if this rookie class pans out to be as good as we think it's going to be, and as good as it looks up to this point, you're probably doing the right thing, Marty Moore, by setting on that a little bit and waiting for it to appreciate, and you'll probably recoup a nice little profit on that. Rodney Hood to 49 for the Jazz. Yeah, I had on, you got super lucky on that. I thought I was going to get super lucky. Like, it was in my cart. I was checking out. I got it to the last page, got the credit card entered, hit submit, the whole deal. Wayne Selden for the Grizzlies. And right as it was processing, it came up and gave me some kind of an error message, and then the site went down, and then you know the rest of the story from there. I never could get the full quantity back in there. I even called her and I was like, because it gave me a reference, it gave me an order number and everything. But then it said I had to call. It popped up with a message. It's something like you have to call to do something because of some problem on the website, and gave me an order number. And I called the girl and I was like, look, it's giving me an order number. It's right here. That's to $199 on the Tyler Eulis. And she says, yeah, there's nothing I can do about it because the website's down on our side too. And anybody that's gotten that message, that means you're really not going to get them. You need to try to get back in there and start all over. And I was like, oh no. Because I was going to break it, right? Like I wasn't going to sit on it. If I had managed to get my hands on the whole case of First Off the Line, we would have broken it. Jonathan Isaac for the Magic. But I sadly did not. It's for the Wizards. Villacunas for the Raptors. And now with just the 3 random boxes, I'm not really sure what to do with them because that seems like an odd quantity to try and break. So I don't know if I'm just going to list them up for sale or what I'm going to do. Derrick Rose for the Cavs. Steven Adams for the Thunder. Even if, you know, I could have gotten half a case. Anything that was close to what I originally had, I would have been so happy. Oh, yeah, I feel ya. I kind of want to open my First Off the Line too, but I'm not going to. I'm either going to sell them as they are sealed up or we'll break them, one of the two. I don't know which. Nice little Jason Tatum Luck of the Lottery numbered to 10, and it's number 10 of 10 for the Celtics. But that's always hard for me, period. When I get stuff in, I'm always itching to get into it. I have to put it out of my sight until it's time to break it for the Pacers. Rajon Rondo for the Pelicans. DeAndre Jordan for the Clippers. Because there's definitely the temptation always to want to get in them. And occasionally I will open up, like, you know, I have the little odds and ends boxes you see sitting around on the table that just haven't been listed recently. And every once in a while I'll look at one of those and think, oh, I've had that a while, and I'll just open it up myself. Jokic for the Nuggets, followed by Paul Gasol, numbered 2, 199 for the Spurs. Yeah, Michael, that Jason Tatum to 10 was pretty nice. I agree with you. I like that card. Don't see a whole lot of those, that particular insert in general, that Luck of the Lottery. I think maybe we pulled 4 or 5 out of the entire case, but I think that's the only one that was numbered that I remember anyway. The Kent Bazemore for the Hawks. Davin Reed for the Suns to 75. All right, we're going to recap this, and if you missed me saying it earlier, I expect that this stuff is going to ship on Monday. It's always possible that some of it could slide a little bit later and might not get out the door until Tuesday, but I think the bulk of it will get out the door on Monday. That's my hope, my plan, and my expectation at this point in time. So let's recap our hits. Ike, whose last name I cannot pronounce properly, for the Pacers. Jonathan Isaac, Magic. Harry Giles, Kings. Anunoby, Raptors. Damian Lillard, nice little hit for the Blazers. Trey Lyles, Jazz. No, not Jazz. Trey Lyles, Nuggets. See, I caught myself doing it. I'm so used to him being with the Jazz. No, Trey Lyles, Nuggets. Marcus Smart, Celtics. CJ McCollum, Blazers. Harrison Barnes, Mavericks. Frank Jackson, Pelicans. Trayvon Graham, Hornets. Jason Tatum, Celtics. Frank Kaminsky, Hornets. And nice little Markelle Fultz for the Sixers. All right, so here's what we got to do now, guys. Oh, Michael says there's one of those Jason Tatums on eBay. It's already at $102.50 with 2 days left. Wow, that is nice. And Marty Marr, I will answer your question in a minute. I got to do one quick thing here, guys. Hold tight for a minute. And I tell you what, I'll put up the other spreadsheet if I can get myself up to where we need to be. Well, actually, I may have to change that, so I guess I better leave it back for a second. Let me go see if the person has paid for their 2 spots in Court Kings. If not, we're going to work out that gets sold here in chat. So hang out for 1 sec. All right, cool. So they did get their payment in, so that means we do not have to worry about reselling anything. And we are finally getting ready to roll into Court Kings. Yay. Let's get that spreadsheet back up. So this is 16 boxes of 2017. Big typo right there because I do that sometimes. 2017-18 Panini Court Kings full case. This is break number 1. This product just came out on Wednesday. Our eBay end date 12/8. Our live stream schedule also 12/8 at 10:30 Eastern. Team names on the left, winning bidders across from it on the right hand side. And we'll scroll down through here and give everybody a chance to see their name in lights. And more to the point, to remind you just what teams you have. If you're like me, half the time, by the time we get ready to break it, I don't even remember what teams I have, so serves as a reminder for that as well. And then Marty Marr, your question to me was, what's the best card I have ever pulled out of a box that I opened for myself? And I guess that kind of depends on if you mean like one of the boxes that I had sitting on the table, like I just get tired of looking at it and I decide to open it myself, or if you mean a box that I purchased for the intent of opening it myself. So if we're talking about one that like is just sitting around and I just decide to open it, that Carson Wentz that I pulled the other day out of Prestige, out of 2016 Prestige, was pretty nice. It was auto, of course, and numbered, I don't remember exactly what, either to 25 or 50. It was nice. And I pulled an Aaron Judge out of some Chronicles that I opened at the hobby store, but it wasn't a particularly good Aaron Judge. But then some of the stuff that I have pulled, like boxes I always intended to open myself, I pulled some really nice Steelers out of that, which of course you know Steelers are my groove in football, including some nice Le'Veon Bell rookies and a couple of those low numbered, like down into the 25 and things like that. So I've definitely pulled some good things, but out of stuff I've opened for myself, but not nearly as nice as stuff I've opened for you guys. I mean, because I have pulled, gosh, out of baseball this year, oh man, I pulled so much stuff that made so many people a lot of money. I pulled a lot of nice football too, so in general, we've done pretty well this year in regard to pulling some nice high dollar stuff. Oh, and you know, I forgot about this. There's one other nice thing I pulled for myself. And I'd forgotten all about it. I pulled a 1/1 Kobe Bryant out of, why can't I think of it? Good grief. It's the It's the promotion, private signings. I pulled a 1-of-1 Kobe Bryant out of private signings, along with, like, I don't know, 4 or 5 private signings that weren't very good. but the Kobe Bryant 1-of-1 was good, and the other 4 or 5 were not. And that was some stuff that honestly was kind of sitting here and it hadn't been doing very well in breaks, so I had stopped listing it for a while, and then I just decided, oh, heck with it, I'm just going to open some of this and see what I find, and one of them was a 1-of-1 Kobe, so I was pretty happy about that. All right, so here we are on Court Kings. And of course, we've got our box topper and our 1-pack per box. That's how these are all going to be set up. That's how Court Kings is traditionally set up. And I'm just gonna go ahead and take everything out so that we can just look at it right down the line. Court Kings is always a fun break. I like the card design. We usually find some cool stuff in it. There's certain products that I just about left the box topper in that one. There's certain products that I always enjoy opening. Court Kings is one. Inception in baseball is another one I really like. I like Origins in football. But Gold Standard is probably my favorite. Overall, my favorite. Gold Standard's right up there. I mean, it's hard to beat National Treasures, but Gold Standard's right there with it. And I like Plates and Patches. I was glad they revived that. Josh, I did do Preferred already. I did things slightly out of order tonight because we were waiting on someone with Court Kings, which would have been first. Someone was waiting on their funds to show up in their account so they could pay for the break. So we actually did Preferred first instead of second, and then we did Prizm second instead of third, which brings us here to Court Kings. And Maury Moore, you are asking me, do I have a personal collection or do I sell them? I have a personal collection, quite extensive one actually, but I'm considering selling some of my stuff, and I can't really decide because I know I will miss it when it is gone, but yet at the same time I really have a lot of stuff. So my intent is to send some things away to have them graded, which I've been wanting to do for a while, but I keep foolishly waiting for Panini to send me my Ezekiel Elliott rookie redemptions and some other stuff like that, and I think I need to just move on from that hope and send in what I have. And then depending on how some stuff grades, I may sell some of it, or I may still yet end up keeping it. I don't know. But there's certain stuff I have duplicates of, like Benintendi autographs, and I have more than one out of the exact same card set and some things like that I don't mind as much because they're, you know, if I sell one, I still have one basically just like it. So some of that I may, and ditto with my Le'Veon Bells. I've got tons of Le'Veon Bells, including some duplicates in that. So I may part with some of it along the way. I'm undecided. Any Dolphins? There was a Dolphin. There was a Dolphin because it was a redemption. Josh, I do remember that, or Joshua, rather. I don't know why I just shortened that and called you Josh. But there is one. I don't remember who it was, but I do remember having a Dolphins redemption. So here's our first. And of course, it's going to be one that's going to. Oh, no, it's not. It's Kevin Durant on. I saw the multiple logos, but they're all Kevin Durant. I just wasn't paying attention, so we don't have to worry about doing any randoming of that. I think I just made up a word, randoming. When you get your cards, guys, make sure if one of these box loaders top, whatever we call them, box toppers. If you have one coming to you, make sure before you throw your packaging away that you have located it, because I will probably have it in there in between a couple pieces of cardboard taped together or something like that that might not scream out, hey, there's something inside. So please make sure you check for it before you toss anything aside, because obviously these little box loaders, box toppers, why do I keep calling them box loaders? These box toppers require some special handling in the way that they're shipped. Kevin Love. And I guess we are going to have to go, technically, I guess, to random on this, aren't we? Or are we just going to award it to, I guess we'll just award it to the present team, because we're certainly not going to have anybody that has a spot for UCLA. So I think Kevin Love just is going to be awarded to the current team. Ditto with the Kevin Durant that we saw a while ago. First off the line, Prizm, I just have the 3 boxes, Joshua. I did not get any more than that. Now, Marty Marr here in chat, he's sitting on some. He's stockpiling it, keeping it. Eric Gordon, we have a signed one. Yay. A nice little Eric Gordon for the Rockets with a bonus autograph. Oh, Ben, if we find former players in those progressions box toppers, then, oh, man. Well, we'll just do it like we would normally do it. So if it's a retired player and they're in there progressively, it will go to the team that they played with the longest. Why will that not come out of there? And if it is a current player, it will go to their current team. So I think that's the way we handle that, just like we would anything else that was retired. I don't know why they have to do that. They know a bunch of this gets broken and they just want to make everybody's life difficult. And, well, okay, that one I kind of blew, but I didn't get that one open by the end like the rest of them, but it'll still fit back in there, so we'll slide in like that instead on the Blake Griffin. And another Blake Griffin. So you've seen, why would anybody random them entirely? Or you mean just doing a random amongst the teams that are listed on the box topper, not random amongst all teams, right? Because that wouldn't make sense. And then, of course, we've got Boogie Cousins, UK, the Kings, and the Pelicans. Oh, Marty Marr, you're out. All right, ma'am. Well, I will see you the next time. Thank you. And then, Ben, what are you saying to me here? I got to stop and read this because there's a lot of typing right there. Oh, I see. So they're, well, I don't know. Amari Stoudemire, Knicks, Mavericks, and Heat. That's just going to, and the Suns. Gosh, I mean, that would just, let me think about that, Ben. I mean, my first instinct is that it would go to the current team. And then if they're retired, to the team they played for the longest. But I'm not hugely opposed, I don't guess, to doing it the other way, but I got to think about that a minute, because A, that would take forever, and B, how is it written on the listing? Because I don't know if I have something written that accounts for this type of scenario or not, so I need to review that as well before I guess we make a final determination. I don't really think I have anything that covers this specific scenario. But we will double check it and see what I have written that might apply, and then kind of figure from there what our best course of action is going to be. Yeah, I tend to agree. Part of what you're saying there, Michael, is that because the college teams are on there, obviously the college teams don't have a position, a bidding position. And yeah, you could technically leave those out and then just go with the pro teams, but I don't know. Of course, you know, my first inclination is what I already said. My first inclination was to award to the current teams, and if they were retired, to the team they played for the longest. But I will double check the wording on my listing before we finish up the break, and we'll see if there's anything that specifically addresses this. And obviously, if there is, that's what we'll go by. And if there isn't, then we'll see how it's going to go from there. Did Clyde Drexler play exactly the same number of seasons for both of those teams? Because if so, there is, I mean, that is addressed in my listing for sure. If you have a retired player and they played for 2 or more teams the exact same number of seasons, then it would be random between the two, whichever seasons had the exact same number of years, as long as they were the longest amount of time. So that scenario would be covered. That wouldn't be hard to decipher. I just want to see what I have written in general, and I don't think I have anything that specifically covers one player and multiple teams on the same card, because you don't usually find that. Yeah, so if he was longer with the Blazers, then yeah, it would go to the Blazers for sure. I mean, it's down there at the bottom of the listing. If any of you guys, while I'm doing this, if anybody wants to pull it up and give it a quick once over, all the little special circumstances stuff is written at the bottom of every page. And again, I don't think there's anything that specifically applies to that because it's kind of a unique scenario. But if you find something that sounds like it applies, let me know, or otherwise I'll look it up when we get done with the break, and then we'll make a decision as to what happens from there. Emerging Artist K. Felder. Little portrait card. Of course, we should have 1 autograph and 1 memorabilia per box in this. Fresh Paint, Tyler Lydon. For the Nuggets, numbered to, does that say 300 or 200? 200. Good grief, I'm blind. Numbered to 200. And then Blake Griffin to 299 is our first materials hit. And then we got a couple more base cards, which I probably should have just pulled to the front to begin with. Would have made life a little simpler. We'll do that this time. Of course, there's loads of rookies in Court Kings. We all like seeing those, but I enjoy looking at the inserts as well. I think that's a nice little Andrew Wiggins insert, as a matter of fact. De'Aaron Fox portraits, numbered to 65. Our other portrait wasn't numbered, was it? I better double check that. I didn't think it was, just based on the way it looked, but maybe it was. Oh, it was. See, there you go. And I accidentally let him slide by. That was Reggie Jackson to 175 for the Pistons. Frank Nicolina for the Knicks. I ran into the camera, didn't I? That one is not numbered. Oh, most of the portraits are numbered this year? Okay, I'm used to only seeing some of them numbered. But this is the first I've broken of this, obviously. Break number 1. You guys figured that out. So I'm kind of feeling my way through it alongside you. And after I get through a few boxes, we'll have a better feel for how it's going to flow. I would like to have gotten a little bit more of Court Kings, but like everything else basketball this year, hard to come by. Josh Jackson. There's a little Lonzo ball, numbered to 175. Oh, the Wiggins is a case hit. I set it aside over here because I knew that it was a different looking card and I liked it, but I didn't know it was the case hit. Thank you for letting me know on that. For the Nets, numbered to 344, oddly enough. And that, of course, is our sketches and swatches where you've got a little material there and a sticker autograph of Krolenko. And then Jordan Bell, numbered to 10, right? Yeah, 1 of 10 for the Warriors. Really nice looking piece of material there, which it should be, numbered to 10. Should be a pretty sweet little swatch, and it is. We already looked at that, right? Yes. Oh, it's called the blank slate insert. Okay, thank you guys. Once again, going through it for the first time, sometimes I don't catch everything myself. And then after I've gone through one and sorted it and all that, it's a little easier to remember. That is numbered to 65. Big Willie style, Willie Cauley-Stein. Derek White for the Spurs. TJ Leaf, Pacers. That's kind of an offset. That is a thicker card, I think, than some of our other material. Maybe not. Maybe it just felt like it was, but sometimes they are not as uniform as you might expect them to be in terms of thickness. Donovan Mitchell. And Thaddeus Young to 175 for the Pacers. Okay, so Aurora is still the official case hit, but you've been seeing one blank slate per case. Okay, so we think it's an unofficial case hit then. Is that the kind of general opinion? Frank Jackson for the Pelicans. Pulling Frank Jackson a lot, it seems like. Here comes Lonzo for the Lakers. Nice little purple swatch there. There is another Lonzo. Renaissance Men for the Sixers. Tony Bradley. Otto Porter, numbered to 25. Pulled an Otto Porter out of a Black Friday pack that was still attached to the box in my local hobby shop when Otto Porter was a rookie in 2012. Jarrett Allen for the Nets. And he still had some 2012 momentum in the shop with still the Black Friday packs attached to it. And I bought one of the boxes to open myself. And what was in the box wasn't even worth talking about. Nice little John Wall to $2.99. But in my Black Friday pack was an Otto Porter autographed rookie, which was kind of cool. And that it had been sitting there in the shop since 2012. He literally had had it there all those years. Oh, Michael, you saw 4 of the blank slates in one case yesterday. Okay, so maybe it is not, in fact, an unofficial case hit either. Well, I guess the jury is out on it. Either way, it's cool looking insert. I like it. And hopefully whoever pulls it likes it. Josh Jackson to 25 for the Phoenix Suns. Next up is coming a rewards point. We all know what that means. It took away our autograph hit. At least that one's 900 points, and we will award it via random momentarily. This is to 99, Tony Bradley for the Jazz. And by momentarily, I mean at the end of the break. When we're doing our little, right before we do our recap, when we're wrapping everything up, we'll do that. Another Josh Jackson. There's a little Yogi Ferrell, emerging artist. Oh, sorry guys, that little kitten that I told you about was after the adult cat who just about came to visit us. Yeah, he was on his way. Tony Bradley for the Jazz. Jimmy Butler to 65 for the T-Wolves. It is amazing how much the older cats are afraid of a kitten. Like, insanely amazing. Justin Patton for the T-Wolves. Willie Cauley-Stein to 25 for the Kings. Nice 2-color patch, but odd that it's gray and white because there's not even like that much gray around. You would have thought purple, but anyway, that's what we got, so that's what we're going to work with. Yeah, who knows with Panini is right. They are kind of always a mystery. A little Bam Adebayo. John Collins. Another John Collins. This one to 25 for the Hawks. A little Lonzo Ball to 299 for the Lakers. Just made somebody happy. There is your signature sticker auto and nice little purple swatch there in our swatches and sketches. That's followed by Derek White to 99 for the Spurs. Actually, I guess I should have set that there. Yeah. Was trying to keep the autograph hits separate from the materials hits so I could do them in order, but I kind of mixed them together, sort of. I guess it really matters. We've got to do them all anyway. You are looking for, I'm sure Boogie would be a Pelican, but I didn't even see him go by. Let me find him for you. Is he right in here, I'm assuming? I don't see him. Where did you see Boogie Cousins go by? I didn't see him. I'll go back through the last stack as well. These are, of course, all ones we've already looked through, but I'm trying to answer someone's question in chat about DeMarcus Cousins, but I don't even remember seeing a DeMarcus Cousins card go by. Which I still don't, although I did mean to set that insert off to the side a while ago. So are you sure were you looking at the picture or the name? Because if you were looking at the picture, you know John Collins somewhat resembles a young DeMarcus Cousins, because I don't see a DeMarcus Cousins card like at all. Oh, on the 2-color patch was Willie Cauley-Stein. That wasn't Boogie. That's Willie Cauley-Stein. This is what you were talking about. Yeah, that's Willie. Sorry about that. I got confused because I'm thinking, I don't remember seeing DeMarcus Cousins, and then I figured maybe I'd gone by it and just didn't remember it. Here is a blank slate John Wall for the Wizards. So that does answer our question that there is more than one per case anyway, or at least in this case there is. Justin Patton went by. Ike is to 175 for the Pacers. I do believe I see another Lonzo Ball coming out. I sure do. So the Lakers are having quite a nice little Lonzo break so far tonight. That one isn't numbered, but I don't think anybody's going to turn it down. And with his fresh haircut in there, too, is his current haircut on that card. This is to 99 for the Raptors on the Anunoby. Did we already look at the Justin Patton? I guess we did. I don't know why I left it laying right there. That's kind of weird. Still out of habit. Every time I see Ben Simmons go by, I want to stop and call him out. There is Dennis Smith Jr., though. Frank Jackson. DeAndre Jordan to 65 on our portrait. Looks like Jarrett Allen is going to come out as our signature for the Nets. John Collins to gray. Miles Turner, little Tony Bradley. Our portrait is DJ Wilson to 175 for the Bucks. Our signature is coming out for the Hawks, John Collins. For the Pelicans, there's Boogie Cousins. Now you're looking for Boogie, we got him for you. Numbered to 299, Pelicans. Although it would appear that the swatch they have included is when he was with the Kings, because I don't know of any purple in the Pelicans uniform. Oh yeah, it says on there, game worn when he was a member of the Sacramento Kings, which we kind of figured out by looking at it anyway, but that made it official. Yeah, that was a cool patch on the Collins, because you don't usually see the pattern in them like that and the shade variation and whatnot. That was pretty cool. Aurora De'Aaron Fox. Now there is our case hit, or at least what I know to be a case hit, and there may be more. Well, if there's some to be discovered, but for the Kings, there is a nice little De'Aaron Fox case hit. Anunoby. AD Anthony Davis to 175 for NOLA. I know, right, Ben? You were predicting the future. That's pretty good, man. You should go out and play the lottery tomorrow. That is to 78, Anthony Hardaway for the Orlando Magic. And once again, our sketches and swatches. So we've got a piece of material as well as our sticker auto on that one. And then Dwayne Wade to 299 for the Cavs. And, of course, he's in a Bulls uniform. The swatch is a Bull, I know. But there's this little information about where he was traded. And, of course, the most important part, Cavaliers noted on the back of the card. If you happen to jump in late, didn't catch me saying this earlier, I'm expecting that I will get this out the door on Monday. It is possible that a few things could slide to Tuesday. Maybe I get 2 breaks out Monday and 1 break out Tuesday, or maybe I'm going to get lucky and we're going to get them all out Monday, but somewhere in that general vicinity. Aaron Gordon to 25 for the Magic. Caleb Swanigan for the Blazers to 100. Jamal Crawford, Clippers to 299. Oh, Ben, you're saying, okay, so blank slate is in fact just another insert. It's not the case hit. All right, so that's, I didn't know that it was a case hit, or I didn't think that it was, but then when you said it, I was like, well, that makes sense too. I don't know. I hadn't opened any of it yet, so, but apparently it was just maybe one in the first case that you saw, and now we have verified there is actually more than one in most cases. Dion Waiters to 175 for the Heat. So thank you for updating us on that one. Dennis Smith Jr., we just made the Mavericks happy. Not numbered, but I'm sure you're still happy to have it. Brooke Lopez for the Lakers to 299. Of course, again, used to be with the Nets, has been traded since then. So even though he's in a Nets uniform, Lakers designation on the card. So that's where that's going to go. Another one of our points in the paint inserts. This one, Kevin Durant. I just happen to like that. They're obviously not case hits. There's a handful of them per case, but I like them. Jordan Clarkson to 175 for the Lakers. Luke Kennard for the Pistons. Unnumbered, but on-card auto. Always a good thing. And Wesley Matthews to 299 for the Mavericks. All right, so there are a couple of things we've got to do before the recap. The first one is give me a hot second to look and just double check what I have written on the listing in regard to the special circumstances area to see if anything's going to apply to our situation with having the same player in multiple uniforms on some of those box toppers. I don't really think I have anything that specifically addresses that, but I do want to try and make sure. So let's give me a second here, and I'm going to pull that up. At least I think I am. Come on now. Of course, I'm not signed into eBay because, you know, that would have made my life easy if I had been. So it's going to take me a second. Like, you know, why? Nope, that is not it. And, of course, I don't remember my password, and there's got to be a better way to do this. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to go to advanced search and see if I can find it this way. And come on. All right, so here it is, and let me get down to the part that matters, and then I'm going to put you up on the screen with me here, and we'll just do a quick run through of this if I can get you on the same page. All right, so this is at the bottom of pretty much all of my listings. Oh man, and my iPad just bumped me out of chat. Daggone it. That's what I get for looking at one thing and then I miss the other. All right, so this is kind of a multiplayer, multi-team sort of thing. But it's the same player though. It's the same player, but multiple teams. So does that kind of apply or kind of not? Let's see. So that sort of applies. But so too could this if 3 or more are pulled in a single break, which there were. So then the entire lot could be awarded or awarded via a similar method as announced during the live event. So that sort of applies as well. Collegiate uniform, that's really not going to apply because most of them have pro uniforms on there. Obviously franchise doesn't, traded doesn't, redemption doesn't. points cards, promo cards. That doesn't. Okay, so really that just brings us to this top part, which again kind of puts us back where we were of it could go either way. If nobody, so I mean, I guess we'll just go with the multiplayer, multi-team, I suppose, even though really we do have 3 or more, so I could have awarded it the way that I originally announced, which is it would go to current team. But, well, let's take a look at specifically which ones we have again. So this one, that doesn't matter. This does matter for James Harden. Dragic does not. No. Of course, I put that one back inside there. Why did I do that? That one would. That would. So there are so many of these. Which is the whole reason I have that rule there about if there are 3 or more, because, you know, you get like 5, 6, 7 of these things. It just takes forever to do all those randoms. So let's just see how many we have. That does not apply. That does not. That does. So we're talking 1, 2. Oh, why is Blake Griffin laying there? 3, 4, 5, 6. So there are 6 of these here, which is a lot. So I think if we look back at, let me get back so you're back on the same page I am. So if we look back at this, if there are 3 or more multiplayer, multi-team base cards, which, I mean, again, these are kind of base cards. I mean, they are base cards by definition of what I have listed as a base card. Then we can award them in a different way. So I think that's what we're going to do tonight, guys, because that is originally what I said as well. So I'll revisit that before we do the next break, but I think that's what we're going to do for tonight. So Kevin Durant, his current team is the Golden State Warriors, so that's going to go to the Warriors. Current team of Kevin Love, of course, is the Cavaliers, so that's going to go to the Cavs. Current team for Boogie is NOLA, so that will go there. Well, you know what, though? Then we don't have a current team for Stoudemire, so here we would have to go to the retired, which is longest number of seasons played, which, of course, is going to be the Knicks, because it tells us on there how many seasons. So Stoudemire is going to go to the Knicks. And then Kyle Lowry will go to the Raptors, because that is current team. James Harden will go to the Rockets because that is current team. So I think that's the way we're going to handle those, because there are so many of them, and that's the reason that extra little caveat is in there. So when we do run into bunches of something, we can do it without having to random through everything. So, all right, next up, that puts us with these 900 Panini rewards points. Those have got to be given out via random. And did I switch your view? I probably didn't, did I? No, now I will. I've got to cut and paste. Now I got to get myself back on the right page. We're going to cut and paste all these teams and drop them into random.org. And because there are 30 teams, I see no reason to have to go do random multiple times when there are 30 possible outcomes. So we're going to drop all the teams in here. We're going to hit random one single time, and whichever team comes out on top is going to take that 900 points card. So there we go. You see everybody's in there. Here we go with random, and it is coming out for the Sacramento Kings. So let me get myself back over here and get you back on the right view as well. And now we're ready to recap. Of course, the box toppers, we already went through that. If it's a single player with multiple teams, it's going to go to his current team. And if it is that he's retired, it'll go to the team he played for the longest. So Kings, 900 points awarded via random. It replaced one of our hits. Next, we're going to go through materials only hits. This is just recapping what we have already pulled out of here. And then after we look at the materials, we will look at the signatures. And I know some of you are probably not sticking around for the recap. So while we're doing this, let me take a moment to say thank you to everybody. I appreciate very much you bidding with me and breaking with me and hanging out and keeping me company and chat, and keeps me from getting lonely. And I also like to hear your opinions on things when we go back and forth. It makes it more entertaining. Because, you know, sometimes these are long breaks. I mean, we've been at this one for a little over 2 hours now with all 3 products that we broke tonight. All right, so that has materials taken care of and rewards points cards taken care of, which now brings us to signatures. And of course, when this stuff ships, which will most likely be Monday, could possibly be a few into Tuesday, you should get an email message from eBay, because I print the labels directly from eBay, so they should send you like a shipping notification. If for some reason they don't, the tracking number should translate into the item, the order history anyway. It should automatically populate into the order history. Keep in mind that I have been experiencing some problems lately with the post office where things are not getting scanned when they're dropped off, and then they may show up getting scanned a day or 2 later, and then sometimes things are scanning and traveling, and then they get stuck in a city, and they'll be stuck there for 3 or 4 days, and then eventually get where they're going, and all that stuff, unfortunately, out of my control. And the post office is a big hot mess this time of year, but hopefully it's all going to eventually get there. And then there's our case hit on the De'Aaron Fox for the Kings with the Aurora case hit. And that is it for tonight. That is got us wrapped up. I thank everyone again for hanging out. And Court Kings, thanks for your patience. I know we moved you from the front to the back, and thank you for accommodating that so we could allow everyone to get in and get paid and keep their teams. So we will see you next time. You guys have a great weekend ahead, and we'll be back at it tomorrow night. Thanks again. Bye-bye.